What's up, branding experts? Arek here at eBay Design. Branding is a confusing topic. People use these terms brand, branding and brand identity as interchangeable synonyms every single day, but they don't mean the same. So in this video, I will tell you how I help my clients understand the differences between what a brand, branding and brand identity actually is, so that you can have a clarity next time you think and talk branding. Now, if you are new to this channel and you want actionable tips on branding, strategy and design, well then smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. My name is Arek Dvorniczak, and at eBay Design my mission is to help people design iconic brands. So as you found out about the power of branding, maybe a friend told you that you should invest in brand identity and build your online presence as a brand, or maybe you've read an article that briefly mentioned the word brand. Whatever the case, you are intrigued, but you also recognize a serious problem. You don't know where to start. So what's the process of branding and what does it really mean? And how should you go about branding your business? Should you start with designing a logo? After all, the terms brand, branding and brand identity seem to describe one thing, don't they? And it's all related to the design of a business, company, service or a product. So check this. When you think about some of the most famous brands like Apple, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, FedEx, Google, you probably can recall their logos. And in addition to that, you have made some associations with these brands. So whether good or bad, strong or weak, whether through your own experiences or advertisement, there is a certain way you feel about these brands when you see these logos and when you hear these brand names. But let me state it clearly, a logo is not your brand, neither is your brand identity. So many people think of design as a purely aesthetic profession, but this is not true. Design is a problem-solving tool that helps companies solve certain challenges and achieve certain business objectives. So in this video, my goal is to clearly elaborate on the differences between the terms brand, branding and brand identity, hoping that you will be able to really grasp the meaning of them and understand the potential of each one. So the next time you talk about building a brand and branding your business or designing a brand identity, you actually sound legit. Okay, so what is a brand? The word brand is used pretty loosely these days. For example, people might use the word brand to talk about logos, but a logo or a brand identity is not your brand. It's much more than that. Brand is a set of intangible assets of a company, product or service. It is a definition of an emotional relationship between the customers and the business. So a brand is a person's gut feeling about a company. So every day we discover new products and new businesses, whether it is a new product in your supermarket or a new tech company or the airline that you've never heard about before. Competition creates infinite choices and companies look for ways to connect emotionally with customers, become irreplaceable and create lifelong relationships. But also, with that being said, brand is not what you say it is, but it is what they say it is. So brand is a relationship that it serves people as emotional navigation. So let's take Apple as an example. They have built a tribe. A tribe is a group of people connected to one another and connected to a leader and connected to an idea. So people want connection and growth and something new. It's like evangelism. So evangelism means convincing people to believe in your product or your ideas as much as you do. So by using every tool that is out there to mobilize your customers and employees into becoming as passionate about a cause as you are. So you see, people fall in love with brands and trust them and believe in their superiority. So if you take Apple as an example, there are brand fanatics out there who will buy their products no matter what, even if it's not any better or any cheaper than the competition, even if it means standing in the line for hours or days. So how a brand is perceived affects its success. In one sense, a brand is a promise to its customers. So if you think about any brand that you know, Apple, Tesla, Nike, Starbucks, you can immediately figure out what they promise to you. So if you happen to be their customer, you have a relationship with that brand. So if they deliver on that promise, well, you are a happy customer. And as a result, it will continue to build your confidence in that brand and it will reinforce that relationship. So the next time you think about having a coffee or buying a computer, then you know where to go. Matter of fact, you will pay premium for their products and go extra mile to get them. And this is because you trust these brands. So to sum up, a brand is the way your customers perceive you, is the relationship. Now you can use many different tools to help you shape that perception about your brand so that your customers can build build that relationship. And this gets us close to the process of branding. So what is branding? So you see, branding is a process. It's the process of building a brand and managing that perception. And it is a disciplined process involved in creating a memorable name and an image for a product, company, or a service in the consumer's minds. So branding can be a genuine game changer for your business. The discipline has come a long way, from starting out as the stamping of marks of ownership on the backsides of cattle, to the manufacture of identities for products competing on supermarket shelves, to the creation of complex marketing campaigns for countless global organizations. So the process of branding is done mainly through advertising campaigns with a consistent theme. So with the consistent use of the brand identity, which is what we can see, and the brand strategy underlying it, what we feel. Now I use a simple analogy to explain what branding actually entails. So check this. A brand is like an iceberg. What we can see is above the surface with the logo at its peak, and the name, tagline, voice, colors, and all the visuals. And everything that we cannot see but we can feel about that brand is below the surface, which is the brand strategy and its components like brand purpose, vision, values, target audience, positioning, personality, and so on. So as you can see, most of the iceberg is below the surface and only a small part sticks out above the water. So when you are branding your business, then you are trying to use all the elements to influence people's behavior. So what we can see and what we can feel. So branding is about seizing every opportunity to express why people should choose your brand over another one. So companies leverage branding as a desire to lead, outpace the competition, and give employees the best tools to reach customers. So branding involves both managing tangible and intangible attributes of a product or service. So the process of branding is a communication of those characteristics, values, and attributes that clarify to customers what this particular brand is and what is not. And it's up to you how you communicate those characteristics. So make sure you communicate what you want to be associated with. Branding is the big plan. It's the plan on how you are going to go about shaping that perception in the minds of your target audience. So whether it is a product, service, or a person, image and consistency, which is brand identity, play a huge role in branding. And this gets us close to brand identity. Okay, so what is brand identity? So you see, brand identity is tangible and it appeals to the senses. Brand identity is basically what we can see. It's the logo, the name, colors you use, typography, layout, images, the way you sound to others, your messaging, and so on. It's the packaging of a product, it's your website, your social media, and every single touch point. Every point at which your customer comes in tangible contact with your brand. So you can see it, touch it, hold it, hear it, watch it move. And brand identity fuels recognition, amplifies differentiation, and makes big ideas and meaning accessible. So everything that is visual about a brand, we call it brand identity. And how many elements a brand identity system consists of depends entirely on how many touch points needs to be designed for this particular brand. So the goal of a brand identity designer is to find artifacts that tell your story and engage people with who you are in a familiar and meaningful way. So that means ensuring every time your artifact shows up, you are consistent in their appearance. So generally speaking, brand identity takes disparate elements and unifies them into a whole system. And the key to building a successful brand identity system is consistency. And consistency is achieved by having guidelines on how you should use your visual assets when designing new touchpoints. So all these elements come together to form a brand identity guidelines document. And this document guides us, designers, marketers, and everyone who is going to work on your brand, how to use those brand assets to ensure that consistency and to ensure that a customer receives a clear, consistent message about that brand. So the logo alone is not your brand identity, it's a part of your brand identity. So how the logo is shown on applications, what typefaces and colors your company uses, all those aspects form the visual identity system. Therefore, the best identity programs embody and advance the company's brand by supporting desired perceptions through design. After all, design plays an essential role in creating and building brands, which is the process of branding. In fact, design differentiates and embodies the intangibles, the emotion, the context, and the essence that matter most to consumers. But design without strategy is useless. That's why it's important to start with the intangibles, with your purpose, vision, values, positioning, message, and so on, so that you can build that foundation for how you want your customers to perceive your brand. And then and only then you should hire a designer to take that and visually convey that to the world. So designers do not design a brand, but they design a brand identity. And a designer's job is to create a desired perception by using any means available in terms of visual language. So I'm a brand designer, but I'm also a brand strategist, because as I mentioned before, those things work together. So you see, graphic design is not art. It needs to serve a commercial purpose. It needs to solve a problem or help to obtain a specific business objective. So I call myself a branding expert because I help my clients to build a brand strategy for their company, product, or service, and then I use design to convey those strategic components in order to build that perception in the minds of customers. So to sum up, your logo is not your brand. There is an entire process behind brand building. So strong brands don't just happen. They are the result of a good strategy combined with good design. So if you are interested in building your brand the right way, then simply schedule a free discovery call with me to discuss your project. And if you're a creative professional yourself, then I hope you like this video and it helps you understand the key differences between what a brand, branding, and brand identity actually is. So to sum up, a brand is a relationship between customers and the business. It's that perception that you have about a product, company, or service. And branding is the process of building that awareness and extending customers' loyalty. It's the process of building that perception. And brand identity is what we can see, is the design of a brand. But anyways, I would love to hear from you. Does this all make sense to you? Do you like the iceberg analogy? Do you think you have more clarity now about brand building in general? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to become a branding expert and build brands the strategic way, then check out my brand strategy guide on my blog, find a link in the description, where you can download the worksheets and follow my step-by-step process to running brand strategy workshops, so that you can get clarity on how to go about branding a business before you do any type of design work. So if you own a business yourself, you can hire me to run this workshop for you. And of course, I would be happy to do the design part as well. But anyways, if you have any questions or you need further clarification, just leave a comment below and I will do my best to answer all of those. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well to let you know when we've got new videos coming out. Until next time, it was Arek Dworniczak from eBay Design.